Demon Attack. Tough.
Yeah, the toughness of Demon Attack always was a selling point for the game, no matter what the version there was. I'm going to be covering Demon Attack this month, as this is going to be the first of a new playlist I've been wanting to do. It's going to cover, well, the subplot will involve Battlestar Galactica, and there's some reasons as to why I'm covering it. Give me one moment. Let me make a long story short. Around the 1990s, series star Richard Hatch tried to bring about a return of the Battlestar Galactica series. He went to lengths that, for a lot of fans, seemed unheard of. Had a comic book line come out under the Maximum Press label, series of novels, even did a trailer that he shopped around to different conventions to show what his concept would be for a return series. Got a lot of fans on his side, getting support among the fan community. Came close to the series that the fans wanted until 9/11, when Ron Moore and David Icke decided they wanted to do a reimagining of the series against the active fan base's wishes. Fan base spoke out, only be told they were, by critics, a small, insignificant minority that didn't matter, and that, yes, it was all right to screw them over. It was also my first experience with trolling, as clone handles basically were throwing out like middle ground proposals, saying at the end, you deserve to be screwed, and your tears are entertaining. So, yeah, when it comes to trolling, I'm an old vet. But this was a series that, if you take a look at James Rolfe's Ghostbusters Answer the Call video, he basically has it out as no review, I refuse. Basically, it just was not what he got behind and was not what he supported. This, for me, with Battlestar, is the same. James Rolfe was also called sexist and misogynist, and just couldn't accept progress. Galactica fans were called Nazi oppressors, enemies of creative freedom, and a lot of other similar nasty stuff. Battlestar, for me, is my no review, I refuse. I did watch the miniseries, one episode, the Caprica miniseries, and Blood and Chrome, and it's, how would you put it, shock value storytelling, soap opera characters that were just unlikable, a generic setting I could have found anywhere, which was my main gripe, and action that just depended on how far you could push the envelope. But also the big killer was how the original property and its fandom were treated. And they were just treated like they were just gum on the bottom of my shoe. Of their shoe. Sorry. So, this is a series that really has nothing to offer me. And for a lot of old school fans that looked for a return of the original, and back in the 90s, there was a precedent for old series returning. This was pretty heartbreaking for me. Okay, so what does this have to do with Demon Attack? Well, in the reviews that I'll be doing with this playlist, I will be covering a reason as to why suits say no to a return of the original in some way, shape, or form. And these were the reasons that were spelled out to me at the time. One of those reasons was they didn't want to be confused with two sets of branding of a property out in the public, which frankly I think is pretty much BS. As generation I grew up in, we had two sets of Ghostbusters cartoons. Granted, there was the one differentiating themselves, calling themselves the real Ghostbusters. That was based off the hit 1984 movie. But also, growing up with the early console wars, Atari and television, and a few others, we had separate versions of the same game. Starting out, the version I grew up with, Demon Attack, Atari 2600. First up, Demon Attack by Magic for Atari. And you'll hear the background beat, which definitely sets the pace. These are the first demons you face. A group of three. I'm trying to find the right word, sorry. Only one will be firing at you. The other two kind of be hanging around. Usually take out the first one. You shoot them all without getting blown up. You get an extra life at the end. As I said, obviously the one firing at you is the obvious threat. Sometimes another one will start firing. But when you hit the end, when you hit the end, you hit the one that's not firing, then all you have to do is blow up the other demon up. And yeah, you got other demon designs. These kind of remind me of Cylon Raiders. Classic Cylon Raiders. It just has that design, the curved shape, but they don't fold in their claws or anything like that. You obviously have different stages of firing. Some will fire in small little bursts, and these fire at you straight lasers. And a little break here and there. And yeah, there'll be different demons come at you. Ooh, blew up, so no new life there. As you progress, it gets harder. And that old commercial, Demon Attack, tough. This is a tough game. This is a challenger, even though you're only facing three of them. And here's where things really get interesting. New demon design, but this way you're also, they break apart. And some of those little demons will fire at you. And once you knock out its partner, a lot of them will go kamikaze run your way. You either blast it or try to get out of the way. And to take out the shooter, another shooter can just take his place. That's how hard this game gets. And yep. Now all you got the little ones. Yeah. Probably thought you could blast that guy. Well, now you try to blast him. Sometimes, yeah. Gotcha. And still blast more. Yep. Small little bursts now, but they can still get you. And as you progress, new demon designs. Some look like glowing eyeballs. One looks like a Cyberman with a big mouth. And you go through enough designs, you'll eventually find your way back to the original design. But even the original designs, this demon's breaking up in two. This will be a function that's here to stay from here on out. And yep, now that full demon decides to take up the firing, and you're down to your last life. Got that? But yeah, here's the Cyberman design. Big mouth, handlebar helmet. And yeah, the designs really get a little different as time goes on. Demon Attack, for Atari done by Magic. After a while, Magic was bought by Activision. And game over in a fancy show of defeat. Demon Attack, tough. For the most part, Demon Attack for the 2600 is a standard shooter. You're just operating an ice cannon on the ice planet Krybor, and you're blasting 3 demons in the sky. And blast one, another takes its place. One will fire at you. And as you go later, the firing cycles to another demon. Later levels, the demons split up. And if you lose, you get quite the show. You make it through all the way to the end perfectly, you get another life. Nice, simple, and definitely tough. When you get to the Intellivision, the concept of reimagining really kicks in. And in retrospect, some fans prefer to present an argument saying, hey, both the same property. They're just done different. With this, I can concede that point, especially when you're looking at Demon Attack for the Intellivision. While the concept is the same, the setting is much different, and it has a very special surprise at the end of the level you're playing. Demon Attack by Intellivision is a very different animal, as you can tell. Although, starting out, the first demons do remind you of Atari's first demons. But unlike the Atari version, for one thing, you are not manning an ice cannon on the planet Krybor. You are operating on a moon with a planet, I'd say, the planet in the distance. Your score is on the left-hand side of the corner, your lives indicator on the right, and you also have different waves of demons coming at you, and it looks like they have the same stream of firepower. These are the first, you start out with the original demons, much looking like Atari. And then you get different waves coming down at you. This is the second wave. And yeah, you're down to 1 life. I am doing this on an emulated system. I'm still waiting for work on my television to finish. And here's your new group of demons. Here's like 5 on a line with multicolors. Yeah, blue, yellow, red. Kind of impressive. Intellivision's graphics are a little more refined. I think. They were able to make the blocks a little more distinct. But it still seems to work. And yeah, the premise is the same. You are blasting demons coming down at you, but there are glaring differences, like setting, definitely. But also gameplay, as you're going through, instead of multiple demons in one wave, you got you got one set of demons on one wave, but here you got multiple on this wave. And here's another big surprise. You blast off on a spaceship and face the demon boss, the demon home base. This you do not do on the Atari. And it also flies demons at you. Here, these you can blast or evade. But you're also looking for the box to open up and blow the base up. And here you get your victory back to Earth, I think, or Earth's moon. And you're back to the start, but this time you've got new weapons fired at you. So yeah, this one, also advances as well, and throws some surprises your way too. The cycle may be the same, and no big show at the end.
Demon Attack. Tough.
Demon Attack for the Intellivision. A very different animal. You're blasting off of a moon, maybe even the moon, planet in the background, maybe Earth, maybe not. And you got a big boss at the end, something that the Atari did not have. So yes, this was Demon Attack, reimagined. Plays a little different, but also plays the same. Your goal is the same. You're blasting demons across the sky. A little blocky, but in some different shapes. And also make sure you last the demons coming out of the home base until you blast out of the sky. As you get as you get further in, you get tougher weapons, get a little faster. Definitely tough. There are other versions of Demon Attack out there. I think even ColecoVision did one, but it was just I think it was just a version of the Atari. Unfortunately, I don't have that one in my queue. Nor do I have the one that was out for a computer of some kind. Commodore 64, maybe. I'm not certain. I'll have to look that one up. But there was a version for the Odyssey 2. Select game. Now we're at the Odyssey 2. The designs are, well, for these, they're like Atari. At least the demon design. I'd say probably the can still, it's a triangle, but it's, here I'd say the Atari graphics are probably a little more, they're a little better. And yeah, the demon design is Atari, and here you're firing one little blast. Yep, and they're just firing one little blast. But again, the game premise is still pretty much the same. Instead of 3, you're blasting 2. So it would seem that it is simpler. But yeah, at the rate I'm still getting blasted. And yeah, you still have to deal with the split up of demons. Odyssey 2 is a little different than Atari, so you have to get used to the gameplay and score at the bottom. And, you're not... you blast through the wave, you get an extra life, so that also works, but the waves are not that much different. But also keep tabs of the backbeat. People always underestimate music or with games, but music helps set the pace when playing a game. Get into a beat, get into a rhythm, get into a flow, and you can wind up acing the hardest of games with enough practice. But this one still has its challenges to it. It seems simpler, but you get better at it, you improve on it.
Demon Attack. Tough.
Odyssey 2 Demon Attack looks pretty much like the Atari version. Seems a little simpler. Well, the demons look like they're Atari. The ice cannon, just a triangle. Pretty much typical Odyssey 2 fare. Seemingly simple, but you're not used to it. It can be a bit of a challenge. So you got 2, 3 concepts, possibly more, of the same game. two of them were out at the same time, and we could tell which was which. If there were to be any confusion on the audience's part, we could well sort it out. We had two versions of Ghostbusters, and I think even in today, you got two actresses with the same name. So, if you're thinking that fans were just too dumb to know which was which was why you didn't provide for what the fans wanted, if you don't think much of us, why should we think much of you? So at the end of the day, I believe we can have more than one game, or more than one game with the same name, same concept, and we can tell which is which. So if you're torn between the fans and the suits, could have been a win-win. And in some cases, yeah, I could probably agree in some areas with fans, but in others, they can be a lot more clever than you think. And with the gameplay, Atari and television, even the Odyssey 2 that I played with, they all have their charms. I grew up with the Atari, and I can enjoy the Intellivision. Odyssey 2, yeah, I can enjoy that too. Same concept, presented differently. Television's version, way differently, but no less fun. P.S. As I continue this Galactica playlist, if anyone's asking if I'm going to cover the explanation where they say Star Wars ripoff, don't worry. I have that talking point planned for Christmas. Feel like I'm missing out on a game and want to nominate one of your own? Don't forget to check me out on social media or leave a like and a comment below. See y'all next time, and don't forget to click and subscribe. Till next time.